Hey everybody, continuing my favorite series, How We Beat the Seahawks. So what you're going to see here is a trend between this video, the next video I'm going to do, and the previous one I just did, which is Shanahan's usage of play action to attack zone with Seattle. See, we know Seattle runs the same defense we run, or we really run the same defense they run, which is primarily a cover 3 zone. And so here Shanahan uses the situation that we're in to affect the linebackers to open up the play he wants to run. It's 3rd and 1, so it's primarily a running down, and he's going to bring in a primarily running package, a personnel package. He brings in 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. We have George Kittle up here. We have Garrett Selleck down here, Juszczyk and Breda. Now, moving the receiver to this side, Seattle runs the 4-3 under like we normally do, and so that means you're going to have your Sam backer or your strong side linebacker is going to be on the line of scrimmage out here. So that sets up what Shanahan wants to do. He's going to fake just a simple dive play. He's going to make it look like we're attacking the strong side, this side of the field where there's more players because the wide receivers over here. So we're going to take Juszczyk. His job is going to be to attack this linebacker, make it look like he's trying to block. He's going to kind of dip his shoulder in, and then he's just going to go to the flat. Dante Pettis out here, he's just going to run vertical. And then what we're going to do after we've run this play action fake is that George Kittle is just going to run an out route. This is a simple flood concept. It's been around the NFL for a long time. Flood is just where you're flooding one side of the field. Sometimes it's called a sail concept. That's usually if the tight end is running a more of a corner route because, well, when you draw it up, it looks like a ship's sail. Imagine that. But the flood concept is just it's a 3-level stretch outside the numbers usually, being that you have, with Seattle being in zone, this guy's going to be in a deep third, this linebacker's in a hooked curl or flat uh, responsibility, and so you're stretching that side of the defense vertically because you'll have 2 defenders and you have 3 routes in there. I showed a video where we ran a play similar to this. It was a flood concept, Jimmy Garoppolo against the Chiefs when they were blitzing. But this is so because this is very common. You have to dress this up because one thing Seattle's really good at is their linebackers will match these outbreaking routes. They're really good at covering flood routes. When you run a cover 3, you have to expect that flood routes are coming. They've been around a long time. Every team has them in their playbook. So you have to figure out different ways to get a team to not be able to adjust to what you're doing, because that's the basis of this primary cover 3 defense, is that there's only so many ways to attack a cover 3, so we're going to be ready for what you're going to attack us with. Well, this is a way then that you can do that, because when he sells this hard play action, this is the linebacker you're going to attack. They were basically trying to attack any underneath defenders not named Bobby Wagner. This is KJ Wright over here. And so let's go to the video and watch this, see how this happens. Here you see we're going to have a hard play action just on a simple dive. Look at how, Bobby Wagner gets completely faked out. And then KJ Wright here, he settles down, even though Kittle is running right past him. I mean, he should realize that this tight end is not going to just run past him. He's going to try and block him. But he's so focused on this is a running situation, that he settles down and is trying to make sure that Breda is not getting this ball. So Juszczyk, he dives at this linebacker. The linebacker now is sucked up. He's gotten his attention. That's really Juszczyk's job, is to attack that guy, get his attention, and pull him to the flat. And now you see Pettis is running down the field. That pulls the deep third corner, and you have George Kittle just running wide open. But look at how long it takes KJ right here to react to George Kittle running by him. I'm going to do this in real time. By the time he sees him, he realizes, oh, they're not running the ball. George Kittle's, he's gone. He's beat him. I mean, by the time he turns around, it's at least 3 seconds afterwards, and George Kittle is wide open. That is as easy as it gets in the NFL for a pitch and catch. I mean, look how wide open he is. This is playing a team that supposedly for the last 5 years we could not get a receiver open, and here we have George Kittle, who they should be eyeing more than anybody, is just sitting there wide open. All because Shanahan uses the situation we're in, the down and distance, and personnel to end up holding this linebacker. I mean, that's who we're attacking right here. And he just gets wide open. And George Kittle ends up making a play and getting extra yards because he's George Kittle, and that's what separates him in the NFL. So here's a little example of how we ended up getting a big chunk play on 3rd and 1. Most of the time, we're trying to just get 1 yard and get a first down, but we end up getting 21 yards, I believe, on this play. We get 21 yards, and we're set up nicely. Now, this is also getting close to the end of the half. I believe it was 3 minutes and about 45 or so seconds left to go. So this is part of how we beat the Seahawks.